Beneath the deceptively calm surface of an ancient river, something waits in the darkness. For early humans, the water was more than a source of food. It was a boundary. On one side, fish gathered in shrinking pools. On the other, giant predators waited for the same opportunity. 100,000 years ago, during the Late Pleistocene, severe dry seasons reshaped the landscape of East Africa. Rivers shrank into isolated pools, trapping vast schools of fish. For hungry human groups, these pools were an irresistible source of food. But the shrinking water attracted more than fish. Giant prehistoric crocodiles moved closer to the remaining channels, and highly aggressive hippos gathered around the same water. The richest food was now concentrated in the most dangerous place, the river's edge. A careless approach could turn a simple fishing attempt into a fatal encounter. So the first step was not entering the water, it was watching it. Early humans learned that danger did not always announce itself. A cluster of bubbles rising from muddy water. A sudden silence among wading birds. A ripple moving against the natural flow. A disturbed patch of water near the shallows. Each could be a warning. The group had to read these small changes before anyone stepped into the river. One person watched the water. Another watched the opposite bank. Others remained ready on higher ground. The group could not afford to have everyone focused on the fish. Someone had to watch for what was watching them. This was the beginning of a simple but critical rule. Never enter dangerous water without someone watching the danger. From a higher vantage point, the sentries could study the pools before the gatherers moved. They searched for movement beneath the surface, for disturbed mud, for sudden changes in the behavior of birds along the bank. If something looked wrong, the group waited. If the water remained quiet, they waited again. Because survival depended not only on where they entered the water, but when. The predators had their own rhythms. Reptiles depended on external heat, and their activity changed with temperature. During colder periods, they could become sluggish in the water. Later, they might move onto exposed sandbars to bask. That created a narrow opportunity. Not a safe river, only a safer moment. When the sentries judged the conditions favorable, the gatherers moved quickly. They entered the shallow pools, using fire-hardened wooden spears and woven traps to collect the concentrated fish. There was no reason to remain in the water longer than necessary. Every second increased the chance of an encounter. The sentries continued watching. Not the fish, the water around the fishes. A ripple appeared farther downstream. The birds on the bank suddenly scattered. The sentry raised a silent signal. Stop. The gatherers froze. The group had no need to see the predator clearly. The warning was enough. The fish could be left behind. The group withdrew from the shallows and returned to higher ground. This was not a failure. It was survival. A successful harvest was not measured by how many fish could be taken, but by whether everyone returned. At the water's edge, strength meant little. A human could not overpower an enormous crocodile, nor could a small group simply confront an aggressive hippo and expect to win. Their advantage was somewhere else. They could observe, they could communicate, they could divide responsibility, and they could wait. The person gathering food did not need to watch every direction, because someone else was watching for danger. The sentry did not need to enter the water, because someone else was collecting the food. Each person depended on the others, and that cooperation turned a deadly shoreline into a place where food could still be harvested. The river remained dangerous, The predators had not been defeated. The crocodiles still waited beneath the surface. The hippos still controlled the shallows. Nothing about the environment had become safer. The humans had simply learned how to approach it differently. They studied the signs. They watched from higher ground. They chose their moment. They entered quickly. And when the warning came, they withdrew. They did not conquer the predators at the water's edge. They survived by refusing to give those predators an easy opportunity. For early humans, that difference could mean everything. Because at the edge of the water, the greatest survival tool was not the spear. It was the ability to see danger before danger saw them.